Spice and Wolf, Volume 13, Side Colors 3 by Isuna Hasekura. The Wolf and the Honeyed Peach Preserves. The crisp winter air bit at Lawrence and Holo as they journeyed through a bustling market town. The aroma of roasted meats and sweet treats filled the air, tantalizing Holo's keen senses and stirring a longing for something more than their usual travel fare of stale bread and pickled cabbage. Holo, with her fiery red hair peeking out from under her hooded cloak, clung to Lawrence's arm, her wolfish instincts awakened by the abundance of food. Every few steps, she would murmur the names of the delectable treats they passed, each one a subtle plea for indulgence. A particularly enticing scent caught their attention, a whole pig slowly roasting on a spit. Holo, her amber eyes sparkling with desire, expressed her longing to enjoy such a feast, even if just once. Lawrence, ever the practical merchant, reminded her of a past indulgence where she had devoured an entire piglet, leaving a trail of grease in her wake. Holo, dismissing his concern with a wave of her hand, clarified that her desire was not for the meat itself, but for something more. Lawrence, his pride as a merchant piqued by her cryptic words, racked his brain, attempting to decipher her true desire. He offered various possibilities: the crispy skin, savory sausage, or perhaps even the rich liver. Each suggestion was met with a dismissive "fool" from Holo, her frustration mounting at his lack of understanding. Finally, the realization dawned on Lawrence. Holo's desire was not for the food itself, but for the shared experience of enjoying a luxurious meal, a feast too grand for them to finish. A warmth spread through him as he recognized her unspoken loneliness, a vulnerability that resonated with his own experiences on the road. However, the practicalities of their journey weighed heavily on his mind. He knew that indulging in such extravagance could jeopardize their future travels. Just as he wrestled with this internal conflict, he noticed Holo's suppressed laughter, her tail twitching with amusement at his predicament. Resigned, Lawrence conceded, "I suppose it can't be helped. Let's visit the apothecary and see if we can't find something to warm ourselves." Holo's ears perked up, and a playful smile spread across her face. The prospect of a shared indulgence had banished her earlier dejection. The apothecary, with its shelves lined with jars of honeyed preserves, offered a tempting array of options. However, Holo's gaze was immediately drawn to a single amber-colored bottle tucked away in the corner: honeyed peach preserves. The shopkeeper, noticing their interest, casually mentioned the exorbitant price, 1 lumione per fruit. The absurdity of the price momentarily stunned Lawrence, but seeing Holo's unwavering desire, he knew he had to find a way. Leaving the shop, they were met with the harsh reality of their limited funds. Holo's earlier enthusiasm had vanished, replaced by a quiet dejection that pained Lawrence. He contemplated returning to the apothecary, emptying his coin purse onto the counter in exchange for a single peach. But his pride as a merchant, his belief in fair exchange, held him back. As they rode in silence, Lawrence's mind raced, searching for a solution. Suddenly, inspiration struck. He steered the wagon towards the Ohm Company, a trading house buzzing with activity. The company was in the midst of a large construction project, desperately seeking workers and transportation. Seeing an opportunity, Lawrence offered his wagon and his services, securing a profitable job and a place to stay for the night. Leaving Holo behind at the company, he set off to work. His mind focused on the honeyed peach preserves and the smile they would bring to Holo's face. As he drove his wagon under the moonlight, he calculated the number of trips it would take to reach his goal. He was determined to earn Holo's smile, not through reckless spending, but through his own cunning and hard work. The Wolf and the Twilight-Colored Gift. Exhausted from a long day of hauling cargo between the town and the village of Lowe, Lawrence returned to the room he shared with Holo at the Ohm Company. He had secured a room and earned a decent wage, but his thoughts were consumed by the honeyed peach preserves and Holo's unspoken longing. Holo, adorned in a simple dress and kerchief, sat by the window, her amber eyes reflecting the fiery hues of the setting sun. Her usually playful demeanor was subdued, replaced by a quiet resignation that belied her inner turmoil. Lawrence, recognizing her unspoken disappointment, felt a pang of guilt. He had raised her hopes only to dash them against the harsh reality of their limited funds. Sensing his discomfort, Holo, her voice devoid of her usual teasing, assured him that she understood their financial constraints and that she did not expect such luxuries. However, her words failed to alleviate Lawrence's guilt. He knew that the honeyed peach preserves represented more than just a sweet treat. They were a symbol of comfort and companionship amidst the hardships of their journey. Determined to find a way, Lawrence made a decision. He would not let financial constraints dictate their happiness. He would find a way to earn the money needed to buy the honeyed peach preserves, to bring back the light to Holo's eyes. With renewed purpose, Lawrence set out to find a different business opportunity. He overheard conversations at the trading company, learning of the dangers posed by wild dogs on the road to Liyue. This sparked an idea. He and Holo could offer food and drink to the weary travelers and workers, capitalizing on the lack of supplies in the village. Renting a two-wheeled cart and securing provisions from a local innkeeper, Lawrence and Holo embarked on their new venture. Holo, perched atop the cart's cargo, her laughter echoing through the air, served as a beacon of hope and courage, dispelling the fear of wild dogs that had plagued the travelers. Their arrival in Liyue was met with curiosity and enthusiasm. Their simple offerings of meat sandwiches and wine were a welcome respite for the hungry workers, and their business flourished. As they made their way back to town, their cart laden with coins and empty containers, Holo inquired about their earnings. Lawrence, after calculating their expenses, revealed that their profit was a mere 4 trenny, a far cry from the lumion needed for the honeyed peach preserves. Holo's disappointment was palpable, but Lawrence reassured her, "We'll bring double the food tomorrow and turn double the profit. We'll have those honeyed peach preserves before you know it." Holo nodded, a flicker of hope returning to her eyes. As they shared the last remnants of their own lunch, a simple piece of bread and meat, Lawrence recounted an old traveler's saying, "For tasty food, double the money. To be full, double the amount." So what do you do to double the pleasure of a meal? You add a companion to dine with. His words resonated with Holo, reminding her that the true value of their journey lay not in material possessions, but in the companionship they shared. With a playful smile, she offered Lawrence a piece of her bread, and together they enjoyed their simple meal, their bond strengthened by their shared experiences and unwavering support for one another. The Wolf and the Silver Sigh. Basking in the warm winter sun, Holo watched Lawrence meticulously record figures on a wax-coated board. His brow furrowed in concentration. He seemed oblivious to the world around him, lost in the intricacies of trade and exchange rates. Holo, having enjoyed a playful romp with a family of hares, returned to the wagon, her mind occupied by thoughts of the luxurious comforts that awaited them at their next destination. Lawrence, his attention finally drawn away from his calculations, inquired about Holo's walk, a hint of amusement in his voice. Holo, her pride slightly wounded by his assumption that she would wander far, retorted, "'Twould have made you uneasy if I'd gone too far." Lawrence chuckled, his eyes twinkling with affection. He knew that Holo, despite her occasional pronouncements of independence, cherished their companionship and would never stray too far from his side. He harnessed the horse to the wagon, and they continued their journey, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels providing a soothing backdrop to their thoughts. As the wagon swayed gently, Holo discovered a curious object amongst the blades of grass, a small, leaden pendant shaped like a wolf's head. Intrigued by its worn appearance and the sense of history it evoked, she decided to wear it as a decoration, fastening it to her tail. Pleased with her ingenuity, she presented herself to Lawrence, expecting a compliment on her unique adornment. However, Lawrence's reaction was far from what she had anticipated. He stared at her tail with a mixture of confusion and concern, muttering, "It's nice, but where did you get that?" Holo, puzzled by his response, explained that she had found it in the field. Lawrence simply replied with a quiet, "Ah!" his gaze lingering on her tail before he turned away and resumed driving. His unusual behavior piqued Holo's curiosity, but she decided to let it go, focusing instead on the prospect of reaching their next town and indulging in the luxuries it offered. Later, as Lawrence excitedly explained a profitable trading opportunity he had discovered, Holo began to piece together the puzzle. She recalled the bundles of fox furs they had seen in town, each marked with a similar leaden tag. The realization struck her like a bolt of lightning. The adornment she had so proudly displayed was not a unique decoration, but a mark of a fox pelt ready for sale. She had unwittingly placed a price tag on her own tail, a thought that filled her with both amusement and indignation. Her anger was further fueled by Lawrence's attempt to shield her from the truth, his subtle efforts to protect her from embarrassment. She realized that he had known all along about the true nature of the pendant and had deliberately left her behind in the tavern to avoid exposing her folly. As they walked through the town, they overheard a commotion at a furrier's shop. A merchant was arguing with the shopkeeper, demanding that his furs be purchased. He held up a bundle of fox pelts, each marked with the same leaden tag that Holo had worn on her tail. The shopkeeper refused, citing rumors of a scheme involving furs and declining to purchase any more. Lawrence, sensing Holo's mounting anger, tried to pull her away, but she resisted. She clung tightly to his arm, forcing him to acknowledge her presence and her worth. With a mischievous smile, she declared, "So then, how fine is the traveling merchant I've wrapped about my arm?" Lawrence, understanding her playful yet pointed message, conceded defeat. He had underestimated Holo's perceptiveness and her ability to turn the tables on him. With a sigh and a wry smile, he led her away, his heart filled with admiration for the wise wolf, who, despite her occasional foolishness, always managed to surprise him. The Shepherdess and the Black Knight. Nora, a young shepherdess with kind eyes and a gentle spirit, embarked on a journey with her loyal companion, Enek, a black-furred sheepdog with the heart of a knight. Having left behind their former life tending sheep, they set out in search of new opportunities, their destination the plague-stricken town of Kuskov. Rumors of the town's plight had reached Nora's ears, painting a grim picture of a community ravaged by disease and desperate for workers. Hopeful that she could find employment as a seamstress, a dream she had long cherished, she braved the dangers and set out for Kuskov, Enek faithfully by her side. Their journey was not without its challenges. They encountered a band of pagan bandits who had attacked a group of travelers, including Giuseppe Ozenstein, a kindly bishop on his way to Kuskov to offer spiritual guidance and support. Enek, his instincts as a protector ignited, bravely defended Nora and Giuseppe, driving off the bandits and earning the bishop's eternal gratitude. Upon their arrival in Kuskov, the town's desolation was evident. Empty streets, shuttered windows, and the lingering scent of death painted a somber picture. Yet, amidst the despair, there were signs of resilience, people working to rebuild their lives, merchants seeking opportunities, and a community clinging to hope. Nora's hopes of finding work as a seamstress were quickly dashed. Arsvit, the young and embittered guildmaster of the clothiers, informed her that the town's economic state was dire, with no resources or demand for new clothes. Disheartened but understanding, Nora accepted the harsh reality of her situation. However, fate had other plans for Nora. Giuseppe, weakened by his injuries, appointed her as the deacon of Kuskov's church, a role that came with unexpected responsibilities. The town of Razul, seeking to capitalize on Kuskov's vulnerability, offered a loan with exorbitant interest rates, a deal that would effectively enslave the town. Nora, as the newly appointed deacon, was tasked with negotiating with Razul and protecting Kuskov's independence. Nora, despite her lack of experience and her own dashed dreams, accepted the challenge. With the support of Ars and the townspeople, she learned the necessary prayers and rituals, preparing herself for the daunting task ahead. Enek, ever loyal and protective, remained by her side, offering unwavering support and a comforting presence. As Nora delved deeper into her new role, she discovered a strength within herself that she never knew she possessed. She found solace in helping others, her kindness and compassion shining through despite the challenges she faced. The townspeople, inspired by her selflessness and determination, rallied around her, offering their support and gratitude. Nora's journey, though far from the path she had envisioned, led her to a place of purpose and belonging. She embraced her role as deacon, finding fulfillment in serving the community and protecting the town she had come to call home. And Enek, her faithful knight, stood by her side, their bond unbreakable, ready to face whatever challenges the future may hold. Epilogue. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the quiet streets of Kuskov. Nora and Enek walked side by side, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on Nora's shoulders, but she found solace in Enek's presence, his unwavering loyalty, a constant source of strength. As they approached the church, Nora's thoughts turned to the upcoming negotiations with Razul. She knew that the fate of Kuskov rested on her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of politics and self-interest. Despite her apprehension, she was determined to succeed, to protect the town and its people. Enek, sensing her anxiety, nudged her hand with his snout, his dark eyes reflecting her own concerns. Nora smiled, a warmth spreading through her as she recognized his unspoken support. Together, they would face this challenge, their bond unbreakable. Entering the church, they were greeted by the soft glow of candlelight and the hushed whispers of the townspeople gathered within. Ars stood at the altar, her expression a mixture of hope and trepidation. She had crafted a simple yet elegant deacon's robe from the nobleman's tablecloth, transforming a symbol of opulence into a garment of service and humility. Nora donned the robe, the soft fabric a comforting weight against her skin. She felt a sense of purpose settle over her, a quiet determination to fulfill the role she had been given. Enek watched with pride, his tail wagging gently as he witnessed his master's transformation. As Nora stood before the assembled townspeople, her voice clear and steady, she spoke of hope, resilience, and the unwavering spirit of Kuskov. She vowed to protect their town, to negotiate with Razul with both firmness and compassion. Her words resonated with the crowd, igniting a spark of hope in their hearts. In that moment, Nora was no longer just a shepherdess with a dream. She was a beacon of light, a symbol of Kuskov's strength and determination. And Enek, her faithful knight, stood beside her, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, their journey together forever intertwined with the fate of the town they had come to call home. If you enjoyed this summary, please consider subscribing to the channel.